Hey friend, how many strategies and tactics are you attempting to juggle with your business right now? I've got podcasts and email marketing. That's just two. There are three more on my list. And I gotta be honest with you, I am barely keeping up with the first two, much less figuring out how to add more. But how do you know what strategies are best to prioritize? Especially if you're like me with unpredictable and often super low energy and massive amounts of brain fog. How do you grow a business without perpetually feeling like you're behind? Well, today I'm going to introduce you to something I learned the hard way, because let's be honest, that's how I usually learn. And that's about the stages of business. Because where you are in your stage of business informs what your priorities need to be. And that can help you prioritize what strategies will give you the best return on your energy investment. Now, I'm not talking about your typical business stages of startup and growth and things like that. No, I'm talking about the ones on my Sustainable CEO pathway, the ones that take you step by step from surviving in your business to thriving. Welcome to Chronic Illness CEO, where we're ditching the hustle culture and rewriting the rules of entrepreneurship to work for us, not against us. I'm Jessica Brown, a business strategist who knows firsthand what it's like to grow an online business while managing chronic health challenges. If you're done with cookie cutter advice that keeps you trapped in the cycle of push, crash, and flare, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll explore practical growth strategies for creating sustainable success. So grab your cozy blanket, your favorite warm drink, and let's discover what's possible when we stop fighting against our bodies and start building businesses that truly support our lives. So I'm going to tell you a story about what happened to me, because maybe you'll see yourself in this story too. I had been running a group coaching program for about a year. Plus, I had a handful of one-on-one program management retainer clients that were 6-month engagements. Things were going really well. I was bringing in semi-consistent income, and it felt great. But then I messed up. I was so busy running the program that I didn't think about how I would go about getting additional leads or what I would do for the next 6-month retainer projects. So when that time came, I renewed a portion of my clients, but it was less than previous. My revenue took a dip. However, I wasn't necessarily upset about that because it did give me more time and energy to start working on a digital product or something else that I had been meaning to do. And of course, in true Jess fashion, I decided to do the hardest one, which was a 3-day virtual planning workshop. And at the same time, I was trying to grow Instagram, albeit a bit haphazardly. Now, by sheer determination and grit, my virtual workshop did well. I renewed clients for an annual program, and then I crashed. And after I recovered, I was floundering. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do next. Really, I needed to focus on consistent lead generation, but I was getting caught up in the latest marketing trends, like creating a TikTok channel and trying to grow that platform. I chose 3 of the most time and energy involved marketing strategies: long-form video on YouTube, short-form video on TikToks, and growing Instagram with short-form video on Reels. And of course, I had to make the type of plan that everyone says that you should do, like posting every single day. And ideally, if you were in any other business, you would have one dedicated person there for each of those platforms to do all of that work. But I was one person trying to do everything. And so I couldn't keep up. My execution was inconsistent, my growth was sporadic, and when I didn't see things working well, I kept circling around the strategy being off or the plan not quite being right. I didn't consider that maybe I needed to look at what stage of business I was in and what were the immediate next steps that I needed to do to get to the next stage and focus only on that. Maybe you've been there too, looking at what everyone else is doing and thinking you need to do all of it. That longing for freedom, and then the confusion as to what to focus on, and then maybe the beating yourself up that you just can't pull more energy out of your body and do the seemingly easy thing of making a passive income product or growing your Instagram. And then definitely there's the comparison going on, seeing what your peers are doing, what your mentors are doing, and wanting that, needing that, but always feeling like you're a letdown because you can't get your shit together enough to do it. When I restarted my business, I knew I had to do it differently. In the past, I was trying to fit myself into everyone else's business mold. I can't tell you how many business plans I had, all designed to get me from 0 to 6 figures as quickly as possible. I had multiple revenue streams, multiple marketing strategies across multiple platforms. I had my customer onboarding journey mapped out. And listen, if all this is sounding a bit big business or super corporate-y to you, that's because it was. I kept trying to fit into that box because that was the box I knew. But I didn't start my company to be a carbon copy of corporate. I started my company so that way I would have the freedom and flexibility to work from home, to focus on my health, and to spend more quality time with the people I love, all while bringing in the same, if not more income than I could when working in New York City agency life. I never stopped to ask myself, well, what could that look like from day one? It was only a reality after I had gotten my business to this whole 6 and 7 figure revenue state with a team supporting. And that was so far in the future and so overwhelming to think about achieving and so discouraging when I kept failing to hit the key milestones that promised to get me there. So this time around, I asked myself, Jess, what would thriving look like now? What is a thriving business now? Then I asked, what are the most important, most critical steps to get there for someone who still wants to prioritize freedom and flexibility, working from home, having your health be a priority, spending quality time with those that you love, and not always spending that time in your business? And that is how I came up with the Sustainable CEO Pathway. Because I realized in that exercise what I wanted, no, what I needed, more than 6 figures or 7 figures or a big team or a fancy office, is something that was sustainable, something that I could achieve sooner than later, not 10 years from right now, but right from day one. You know, planning is so difficult with chronic illness, especially if we're planning according to how most able-bodied business experts suggest. Our bodies have different rhythms and go through different seasons. We have a high energy, low energy. Then we have the dreaded deficit of energy. We may go through a long season of symptom remission, which is amazing and awesome and great. And sometimes we have equally long or even longer seasons of flare-ups, or when a new health challenge presents itself, and then we got to spend that whole time trying to figure out what that's about. And just like our bodies need certain things depending on those seasons, our businesses also need certain things depending on the stage we're in. And for those of us with chronic illness, we need to make sure that what the business needs and what we're capable of giving are in alignment, or else it's no good and it's not going to happen. Most chronic illness entrepreneurs jump ahead to the sexy stages, trying to build passive income when they don't even have consistent active income yet. Then when the plan fails, they feel behind, broken, like they're doing something wrong. Ask me how But the truth is, we're just not focusing on the right thing at the right time, depending on our body's season and our business's stage. I'd like to introduce you to Hannah. Now, Hannah is my client avatar. If you're not familiar with that term, a client avatar refers to a detailed profile of your ideal customer, their demographics, their challenges, their goals, their dreams, their mindset. It helps you create content and services and products that truly serve the people you want to help. And when I was restarting my business, I asked myself, who did I want to most work with? And I realized it was Hannah. Hannah is a smart, resourceful woman navigating life with chronic illness who dreams of having that financial freedom and flexibility, but feels trapped by the unpredictable energy and a business model that wasn't built for her reality. And when I was thinking about how to create sustainable success, not just for myself, but for Hannah, how could I get us from just surviving in our business to truly thriving? That is when I mapped out the Sustainable CEO Pathway. Now, this pathway is built on core business principles that we are going to overlay with capacity planning for those with chronic illness. Then we're going to mix in a whole bunch of grace and self-compassion because it's necessary. And then we're going to add a whole lot of simplifying, streamlining, and making it brain fog friendly because we need it to work on our foggiest of days. So let me walk you through this pathway using Hannah as an example, how I envisioned her, me, you, us, going from survive to thrive. Hannah decides to start her own business because she's looking for more flexible options to earn income while dealing with her chronic illness. Her professional job is becoming impossible to manage from an office, so she just starts freelancing. She's trading time for income through one-on-one services, probably pricing herself low just to get any client she can. She's manually doing all the administrative work. Yes, she can set her own hours, which she likes, and she can work from home, which is amazing. But when she needs time off for flares or recovery, she's not earning any income. Her income is completely tied to her ability to do the actual work. Hannah is in the survive stage, This is our first and beginning stage. It's all about earning income to pay the bills, usually by trading energy or spoons for dollars through things like one-on-one services or freelance work, micro offers, or quick turnaround product sales. This is the messiest of stages. You might have the most basic systems in place, but it's all on you to manually run them. And because everything is resting on your shoulders, you're running on fumes. But you're determined to stay afloat. You're determined to make this work. It is very tempting to start offering a lot of different offers, whether it's service-based or digital products, because more offers equals more money, right? Not necessarily. But I will tell you one thing. When you're doing that, you're risking running yourself more ragged. The key thing here is to realize that this stage is temporary. It is not forever. And you need to just put in the smart work as small steps that are going to get you to move one step closer to sustainable success. In this case, it's sticking with one thing and doing that one thing well and getting a roster of clients for that one thing. Fast forward a bit. Hannah takes on some bigger risk and converts her one-on-one services to package deals or retainers. Now she has a few clients on retainer, so her workload and income are more stable and consistent. She's still trading spoons for dollars in a way, but as long as she gets the work done, her pay doesn't equate to the amount of hours she worked. With more stable income, she doesn't have the same amount of stress when flares hit. Her income will still roll in as long as she can work through those flares and get her contracted work completed. The benefit to this is that work can be more on her rhythm and her schedule. Hannah also realizes what would really help her is to have certain systems in place to support her. She maps out her client onboarding process and automates some of the communications. She invests in a project management and gives her clients access to it so that they can better communicate when certain tasks need to be done. And she sets up client office hours so her client knows when she can take calls or answer emails. It also means she now has dedicated downtime where they know she's unavailable. Hannah is now in the stabilized stage. This is where you have a defined service or offer, maybe a steady client or two, and you're using simple tools like auto schedulers or templates to reduce your daily spoon drain. You're starting to treat rest as strategic. Now, in this stage, it is tempting to feel guilty about creating boundaries with your clients, especially when it is to block rest. But the key mindset shift here is realizing that the right systems can and will support sustainable success by creating the much needed breathing room that you and your body need. Now that Hannah has those solid foundations and boundaries in place, she starts looking for a way to leverage her expertise beyond just one-on-one work. She decides to test a small group coaching program with just 5 people, taking what she's been doing individually and adapting it to a group setting. She also creates her first digital download, a simple template based on the work that she's done for clients. With her retainer income more stable and her systems supporting her, she has the breathing room to experiment. She hires a virtual assistant for a few hours a week to handle the administrative tasks that drain her energy the most. And Hannah is amazed with how much mental space this creates for her to focus on the creative strategic work she actually enjoys. Hannah has moved into the strengthened stage. This stage is about taking what you've proven, whether a one-on-one offer, a steady product, an affiliate content, whatever, and starting to layer in group programs or more passive-ish income streams. It's also when you begin building team support, so you're less in the weeds and more in the CEO seat. The temptation here is to wait too long before hiring a team, whether it's because you're feeling guilty of spending money on a VA that you could use to pay yourself more, or it's the discomfort in trusting a team to communicate and interact with your clients instead of it always being you. The key mindset shift here is that delegation gives you more capacity for your health and to make more of an impact. Yes, it can require letting go of some of that control, but with the right systems and a solid foundation, building team support becomes a lot less overwhelming. Now Hannah is excited. Her small group program filled up and she got great feedback. Her digital template has sold steadily. She's got testimonials and case studies. She realizes she could probably run this group program quarterly and sell the template on autopilot if she just had the right marketing systems in place. So she starts building an email funnel and creates a simple lead magnet. She increases her VA's hours and brings on a content creator to help her with social media. The revenue from her digital products is starting to really supplement her retainer income nicely. And she can see a path to eventually replacing all of those one-on-one clients entirely. Hannah is at the scale stage. This stage is about building a reliable digital product suite or passive income streams, layering on advanced automation, and leaning on cross-functional team support. It's in this stage where you begin to delegate more of the day-to-day tasks to your team so that way you can focus on the big picture strategy, like mapping out evergreen funnels or refining your offers. It's also where you stretch your leadership muscles and really lean in with vision, not just sheer determination and grit. Now, the temptation, it could be feeling guilty for stepping back or freaking out a bit when you hand over the daily reins. But the key mindset shift is this. Your business can thrive when you trust others to handle the repeating tasks, freeing you up to steward what only you can do. After several years, Hannah has done it. Her digital products and group programs now generate more income than her old retainer clients ever did. And her team handles the day-to-day operations, the customer service, the marketing, implementation, you name it, they got it. She only works during her highest energy windows and takes extended breaks when her health requires it, without any income disruption. She can choose to launch something new because she wants to, not because she needs the money. Hannah spends her time on big picture strategy, content creation when she's inspired, and actually enjoying the business that she built. Hannah has reached the thrive stage. In this stage, passive or evergreen income is your primary revenue stream. Your schedule fully supports your health, and you have space to carefully and intentionally grow in a sustainable way for you and your team, if and when you choose. Your business can now weather extended rest and recovery periods without affecting your income because you've built in redundancy and resilience into every process. Even though this is what we all aspire to, here the old temptations can creep in. Guilt for earning while you're resting, fear that everything might fall apart if you unplug too long. But the key mindset shift is this. You deserve to savor success and rest. This isn't just indulgent. Your business was purposely built for exactly this kind of peace. And that, my friends, is the journey that Hannah, myself, and I'd like to encourage you to take. From survive to thrive. One small but sustainable step at a time. So often, though, we get tripped up on that journey and feel stuck. There are 4 obstacles that can really get in our way, and I want to tackle each one with you right now. The first is having revenue tunnel vision. You know, where you're focused only on income numbers instead of your capacity. I used to do this all the time, always shooting for that 6-figure annual mark instead of asking, how do I make 3 figures or 4 figures consistently? And I was so focused on the numbers that I didn't ask myself if the path I was on to get there was truly sustainable. And well, it's no surprise that it wasn't. The second obstacle is the control trap, otherwise known as I have to do it all myself. It's hard to let go of your baby, but this can hold you back from advancing through the stages. Hannah might think if she delegates, quality will suffer. Or she might feel guilty spending money on a VA, a tech tool, or even a template where every dollar still counts. But without the support, there's no growth or freedom. And if you crave financial independence and schedule freedom, then having the right support will be key. The third obstacle is trying to play leapfrog. Now, I might be dating myself, but leapfrog was a game that we played when we were children where one person would duck down and then you would put your hands on their back and you literally jump over their back. It's like you were acting like a frog, jumping over another frog. And in the business sense, it's like trying to build scale systems when you are in survive mode, or creating complex marketing funnels across 3 platforms when you don't even have consistent income yet and a reliable product that sells well. Yeah, I have been there. I have done that. I've got the t-shirt to prove it. It does not work. The final obstacle is measuring yourself against your peers in different seasons, otherwise known as having a bad case of comparisonitis. When you see what your peers and your mentors are doing and you want that, need that, but always feel like you're let down because you can't get your shit together enough to do it. Yeah, that feeling, that's comparisonitis. But here's the thing. Your mentors and peers, they're probably not in the same stage of business you're in or the same season of health that you're in right now. And so comparisonitis just holds you back from focusing on your business because your focus is on theirs. In the case of all these obstacles, the key to overcoming them is to understand that you are unique. Your body is unique. Your business is also unique. And finding what's going to work for you is a journey. It's taking the time to honor where you actually are, not where you want to be or think you should be. And it's choosing the best strategies for what you need in the here and now, not just replicating what others are doing. And it's trusting in the right support at the right time to help you along the way instead of doing it all on your own. Now, I've talked a lot about Hannah. What about you? Let's figure out your stage together. I'm going to ask you one question at a time, and we'll walk through this step by step. So question number 1, do you have consistent monthly income that you can count on? If your answer is no, then you're in survive stage. And that's exactly where you need to focus right now. Your next step is to stick with that one thing and do that one thing well until you get consistent sales or clients for that one offer, whether it's a service or product. Now, if you answered yes, like you have consistent monthly income, we're going to keep going. Question number 2, do you have basic systems and automation running so you're not manually doing everything, plus some boundaries in place within your business? If your answer is no, then you're in the stabilized stage. It's time for you to build those foundations. Your next step is to map out your processes and invest in simple systems that support you. Now, if you do have consistent income and you do have basic systems and you do got boundaries in place for your business, you can move on to question number 3. Are you testing or running group programs or digital products or something that is generating more passive-ish income without your direct time? Now, if no, you're in strengthen. You're ready to pilot some of those scalable offers and start building up your team. Your next step is to take what you've already proven, whether it's a one-on-one service, product template, and test one group or digital offer. Now, if you do have consistent monthly income, you do have the basic systems and automation running, you have the boundaries in place, and you have some group programs or digital products, now we move on to question number 4. Do you have reliable automated marketing systems and cross-functional team handling your day-to-day operations? Now, if you don't yet, you're in the scale. It's time to build those evergreen systems and to step more into a leadership role than the operator role. Your next step is to focus on one automated marketing system while delegating more to your team. If you answered yes, I have consistent income, I have basic systems and automation running, I have boundaries in place, I have group programs and digital products, and I have reliable automated marketing systems, and my team is handling my day-to-day operations, well, congratulations, you are in Thrive. Your next step is to savor what you've built and only grow when it truly aligns with your capacity and values. A lot of times in this online space, we're pushed to make the 7 figures and then 8 figures and beyond. But you don't have to. We're designing a business that is going to give us the peace and the freedom and flexibility that we crave and need to prioritize our health. And that may mean having a smaller business, but one that's truly sustainable. Now, no matter what stage you're in, here's something that I want you to do. Take some time this week to journal on this question. What season of business are you really in? And what would happen if you honored being in that season instead of resisting it? Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, okay, Jess, I think I know what stage of business I'm in, but I have no idea what my priorities should be or how to actually start moving forward, that's exactly where I can help. I offer something called a Sustainable CEO Strategy Day, where we spend time together mapping out your personalized roadmap based on your actual stage, your current capacity, and your health reality. We'll identify your one next priority and create a step-by-step plan that works with your body, not against it. No cookie-cutter strategies, no overwhelming to-do lists, just a clear, sustainable path forward that honors exactly where you are right now. You can learn more about the Strategy Day at chronicillnessceo.com. And hey, if you want to follow along as I document my own journey from survive to thrive in real time, I'm planning to share that transparently through blogs and behind-the-scene content, because sometimes it helps to see that even the person teaching this stuff is still figuring it out step by step. And be sure to listen in next week, where I will be sharing the uncomfortable truth about what happened the last 2 months that really kind of took me by surprise, and I'm going to just say distracted me from recording any more of these podcast episodes. And then what I needed to do and how I got back to it. Then you definitely don't want to miss that episode. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you're loving this episode and want to help more entrepreneurs with chronic illness discover that they don't have to sacrifice their health to build a successful business, and it would also be a huge help for this new show, I've got 3 quick ways you can help. First, hit that subscribe button. It makes sure that you don't miss any upcoming episodes and lets this platform know that our content is worth sharing. Second, if you're feeling extra generous, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Those ratings and reviews aren't just nice to read, although they totally make my day. They actually help push this podcast up in the algorithm so other entrepreneurs with chronic illness can find our cozy little community. And finally, if you know another business owner who's tired of the push, crash, flare cycle, share this episode with them. Because friend, everyone deserves to know that there's a better way to build a business that truly supports their life. Until the next time, I'm wishing you a gentle day.